What is up, everybody? We are back with another episode of Enters the Lab podcast presented by Red Zone DC Media. We are here after the draft. The draft is finally over. We've seen players in new places, but we're going to question some of those new places, and we're also going to get some props to those new places. We discussed the best and the worst drafts, best QB, rookie quarterbacks in the best situations, and we also discussed many more things that happened this past draft weekend. Well, also a brand new member of the Enter the Lab podcast. So buckle up. It's time to enter the lab. What is up, everybody? It is Enters the Lab podcast presented by Red Zone DC Media, live on YouTube, Facebook, and on Twitter. We are back again. We are back after a little extended break for you people. We also had to take care of some podcast duties elsewhere. We also had to take care of some personal things, but your favorite crew is back tonight. But before we go ahead and get started, it's time. We've been having this brewing a little bit. Time we welcome our brand new member on the ETL podcast. For those that remember, those who do not know, this is our guy JMIK. He is a diehard New England Patriots fan.
Boom!
Welcome. You're already getting hazed in, but welcome to the crew, man. Nice to have you.
And I appreciate it, man. It's going to be fun this season. So, and I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yes. Welcome. Even though I don't like you, but welcome. Not you as a person, just your team. But it's
okay. Oh man, but just share a little bit about yourself. What got you into, the New England Patriots, and what got you into just love talking sports with everybody? Just share little things with the audience.
I mean, for me, so I'm from Boston, so that's obviously where the team is. So my whole family just watches football. Cousins, mother, my mother watches football. My grandparents a lot. They watch football. So so my brother was 9-10 years older than me. So around the age of 5, they was all sitting around the TV watching football. That's kind of when I discovered football. Unfortunately for myself, and so I'm an older Patriot fan. When I first started watching, we were terrible. So I really got a love for the game because I think the first season I really started watching football that I remember, we had only won 3-4 games that season. I think it was the 94, or it's either 93 or 94 season. So we were pretty bad. I got into when we were bad. The team got better, as y'all know, won championships. And I'm a diehard because I stuck through early in my tenure with the team when the team was bad and we were good. And then last couple of years we've been bad again, but I mean it's been a good ride, so I really can't complain.
All right, man, no doubt about it. Look, every team has a little story to it while we get into the love of the sport, no doubt about it. But we also see Henry popping in. Shout out to BT Slim in the comments. Also, we just see him gone viral on the Commanders Instagram and social media page with the Josh Conley challenge. Yes, thank you, sir. Big ups to the chat panel and chat every time. But what's up with my people up here? C. Henry, Lady E, how y'all been?
I'm good. I'm about to have a junior in high school, so we are getting up there.
Why did you jump like that, C.
Yeah. Junior in high school, he's getting ready to turn 16. So yeah, what we talking about?
Oh no, I don't think C. Henry was about to jump about that.
I'm not, listen, man. It's been a while since I, saw you guys. So, I thought we were gonna have some real exciting news, but that's exciting as well. Keep doing what you're doing, Lady E. Keep doing what you're doing.
Always, you know me.
You don't look like you got a junior in high school at all. You know what I'm saying? No. I was shocked by that. That's why I jumped back, DT. You see that right there? You see how you got to rebound, you got to step in and step out.
No. See, every time I get up there to the school, sometimes the teacher's like, "You're a student?" No. So yeah. So there's that. I still get. I mean, I've been out of high school for probably over 20 years now. So yeah.
I'd have pulled to see Henry. I was saying I get that every day as a teacher, looking like a student.
See, good youth.
Yeah. But all right, let's go ahead and get into obviously the biggest topic that was for draft weekend. The Shedeur Sanders falling in the draft. He fell all the way to the fifth round at 144 on Saturday. He is now a Cleveland Brown, and obviously that was the most polarizing name we saw all over social media waves on national TV. Has made its way amongst other sections of the community. Just talk about this process for Shedeur. We got into it a little bit talking about the quarterback class this year. We all understood that it was not going to be as strong as we saw last year. We had approximately 6 guys coming off the board, and all of them either had solid contributed seasons or they had historic seasons as well. But I just find this discourse a little bit weird. That's nasty, by the way. I just find this discourse a little bit weird because I understand where a lot of people are coming from, and when you look at it from a different lens, it looks wrong. It looks absolutely crazy that he fell all the way to the fifth round. But there also has to be a conversation about the things that we talk about up here. When it comes to like the film work, just characterizing how this player is overall. How does he project to the National Football League? And a lot of people have the opinion that they did not see Shedeur Sanders as that guy. They don't see him as a franchise changing quarterback, but more or less either a starting quarterback with some development that needed or just a backup quarterback. I think that's where some of the line is. Now, of course, obviously reports are out there talking about he slammed his interview process. The installs with the New York Giants didn't go as well. A lot of things are coming out right now about how Shedeur fell all the way to the Big Five. But I want to ask you guys, and we're going to start with JMIK. Where do you decide as a fan and also a guy that understands football, which side to choose when it comes to the Shedeur Sanders thing? Because one thing we could talk about, he fell because obviously that last name carries weight, but it's also just understanding like there are some extent there are some concerns we have and some questions about him coming to the NFL.
Yeah, so I'll say this like I not only watch NFL but I also watch college, like a lot of college. So I just assumed that he was going to be a first round quarterback. I just made that assumption. And I've heard the talk where like he doesn't have elite traits or whatever, which I can agree with. But so my feeling on it was if he didn't go to the first round, I thought he'd go in the second. Then when I'm watching the draft, he don't go to the fifth round. And I'm not a huge Shedeur guy, nothing like that. Like I don't hate on the kid either. Like I'm kind of indifferent to the situation, honestly. But you trying to tell me that Tyler Show and Dylan Gabriel is better than Shedeur? Like I'm just not buying that. Like
Jalen Milroe.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean Jalen as well. We went to the third. I believe went to the Seahawks. So to me, he's better than those guys. And that's just my opinion. Like I watched a lot of Colorado games, watched a lot of tape. I've watched tape on Oregon. I've watched tape on Bama's in my conference. So I've seen a lot of Jalen Milroe. And just so y'all know, Jalen Milroe only plays good against Georgia. That's about it. The rest of the schools he really don't play that well against for some odd-forsaken reason. But yeah, like for me, like he shouldn't have fell to the fifth. I mean, but I do feel like the Browns got good value. So, I mean, and you know, in that situation, it's actually better for him because that quarterback room is very unsettled. So he's got a better chance of making that team as a 5th round pick versus if he was to go to like some other random team in a random round, 3rd or 4th, to like a team that already had an established starter, where he just probably would not have a chance to start. So,
Letty, what are your thoughts?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm in same way. I was indifferent about Shedeur because, you know, you had people that say, well, his team sucked. Well, okay, there's no I in team. So if his team sucked, what do you think that he does? He sucked too. So, but I just feel that his quarterback mechanics could have been a little bit better. He's not the athletic type compared to a lot of the other quarterbacks when you're looking at it. And you know, some of his decision making and ball throwing mechanics just wasn't hitting for me like I needed it to hit. Now, could he have won in the first round and people saw the potential and could get it? Yes, he could have. But same thing. You had a couple of quarterbacks go before him and he goes all the way into the 5th. Now, I heard that he wasn't a traditional prospect. He didn't have an agent. You know, I think his dad, I think they said his dad was kind of like acting as agent, or he was like his own agent. So there wasn't nobody advocating for him with some of these teams to probably get him picked beforehand, like what we kind of saw. Because I know people were comparing him to Johnny Manziel. And I'm like, shoot, Johnny Manziel's agent was on the phone with Cleveland, like, just pick him. I promise you he's going to be good. So again, the whole issue with it is just, was it more so the blackball of him not, you know, just who he was with the name, or was it more so the actual legitimate concerns? Could he be a franchise quarterback? Could he lead a franchise? Could, you know, again, could he be that QB that they're wanting him to be? So again, you know, it's we just have to look at it. And I'm like JMIK, I watched a lot of college football. I watched Colorado. And I'm gonna tell you right now, that game that they played against BYU did not help his case. That did not help his case at all. So you know, and then I heard mixed reviews about his pro day. So again, you know, there's still question marks. I don't believe that is a good situation with him in the Browns, with having all of that drama in the quarterback room. I don't believe that is good. I really kind of wish he went to a team where he can probably sit behind a vet. I'm not saying nothing wrong with Joe Flacco, but to sit behind like a vet that has a similar skill set to him to kind of wean him along a little bit. So I want to see what this quarterback battle is going to look like. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be paying real close attention to the Browns training camp this season because I want to see what's going on. What's really going on.
So I think you know, you guys brought up a lot of interesting points, and there's so many different ways you can look at this. I think a lot of things can be true in this situation. Was he actually blackballed? Did some folks not really appreciate him coming into the league as somewhat of a privileged young man, someone not, you know, having to live, you know what I'm saying, kind of like from hand to mouth, you know what I mean, and be like someone who's gotten out the mud, and, you know, someone who has to kind of like, you know, lean on the league and say, I really, really need you. I really want to be here, and beg his way in there. That can possibly be true. Also, though, if what we're hearing is true about him possibly tanking interviews, him possibly purpose. Now, I don't know if this is maybe he just had one or two bad ones, and the good ones, you know, he had some good ones where he just possibly wanted to go, but him possibly tanking interviews on purpose and that word getting out, that can definitely lead to, you know, the league kind of looking down on him overall. He kind of came into the mix kind of with his dad kind of saying that he was going to kind of try to navigate, if he will, where he would go. Probably shouldn't have said that out loud. I never heard of Eli Manning, the Manning dad, actually say it out loud. I know he probably was in the back room pulling strings and talking to people, but again, with his agent and all that, but we never heard him like verbally say it enough. And I could be wrong on that. But with all that being said, I think Shedeur was a prospect who was an elite processor, who did have some limited physical traits. And if you're an elite processor and you're going in the room and you get on the board and you interview with somebody and you don't show elite processing ability on the board, that's going to definitely hurt your brand. And again, I agree with you both. I think he's better than Tyler Shaw. I think he's better than Dylan Gabriel. Milroe and Dart. Those are guys that I think he's probably better than on the field on Saturday. Definitely proved he's probably better than. But you look at the physical traits that they have. Sometimes we know that sometimes these teams fall in love with traits. Milroe, people are saying that he's a better running back than Lamar Jackson. So he has a skill that some people may think that they can cultivate. So with all that being said, I think a lot of things can be true. I think a lot of people may have played this wrong. And he can be, I think him landing in Cleveland can be a positive situation. Old man Flacco maybe sit behind him for a while. But again, if they start losing games, we already know, Mr. Barry over there sitting on, the seat is real warm. It's hot. It's fiery over there. So
they start losing games next year.
You know what I mean? So we'll see with Shedeur, man. I'm sorry it happened. It could cost him probably $30 or $40 million, but let's see if that lights a fire under him.
Yeah, I hope it do too. And I think for all odds are obviously quite against him, because when it comes to the history of a 5th round quarterback, there has never been a plausible history with drafting those guys to become actual starters in the NFL. I mean, the last time we had someone in the 5th round was Sam Howell, who got an opportunity but started to phase out during his time in Washington. And then the simple fact that Cleveland not only passed on Travis Hunter, the generational talent, to go all the way to 5 and pick up a 1st rounder next year. So they have some ammo for possibly looking for a quarterback next year if they are deciding on that. You have 5 quarterbacks in that room right now, and you drafted Dylan Gabriel before Shedeur, which that extremely shocked me to take Dylan Gabriel at that spot instead of Shedeur, and then go around with the value, obviously, but you take him in the 5th round. I'm questioning a lot of things with Cleveland right now. I mean, I don't know if they're expecting to be competitive or they're just expecting to have a season that's these guys going to go back to putting the bags on the head like they used to and just get ready for the 2026 season.
I mean, that's they look. They are.
I'm gonna tell you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I was just gonna say I mean, that's why I said I'm gonna be watching the training camp. This is gonna be a very competitive training camp for them, especially at that quarterback position. So, I mean, you still got a stud like Myles Garrett on the team. You still got a couple of good playmakers. You added some good draft stock there as far as depth, running back, wide receivers. So I'm a hope that they're going to be able to do something. But again, you got to remember what division that they play in as well. Mm-hmm. So we're definitely, I mean, might be looking into 2026. That's all I got to say. We might be looking into 2026 for them.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that too. Because they got the 2 first-round picks next year.
Mm-hmm.
So they got the ammo. They got to move up. Like if they win more games than anybody expects them to win, then they can always move up. But the other situation is just the quarterback room in itself. Like, Deshaun is there, but he's injured, hasn't really played that well, hasn't lived up to the trade. Then you got Pickett and Flacco. They both got 1 year left. Flacco only signed a 1 year deal. Kenny's on his rookie deal, but it's the last year. So essentially, Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur, they could work themselves into being a starting quarterback at least for this year.
Yeah.
Because you got 2 guys that's not even going to be there next year. So they really ain't got no skin in the game on them guys either. So they got to show and prove. But should, like what you said before, not too many. Like I can name some 4th round draft picks that got drafted in that round, made to be a starting quarterback, took over the job. But it's he got to just. If I'm Shedeur, I'm just worried about making the team at this point. Like, I got to make the team first, and then once I make the team, then I could try to be the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd quarterback.
I agree. And then let's not forget, like you said, not many in the 5th round, but Joe Montana wasn't the 1st round pick. Tom Brady wasn't the 1st round pick. Jalen Hurts wasn't the 1st round pick. Brock Purdy wasn't the 1st round pick. So it's not the worst thing in the world. Got to get your feet wet. Got to get your foot in that dough first, and then make something shake.
His mentor Brady should be his motivation anyway. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, when we're all looking at it and understanding, am I going to say that he's not going to make the team? No, I'm not saying that he's not going to make the team, but that should be his goal, is to make the team. And then once you need to be in those, rooms. You need to be in the wide receivers room, understanding who the wide receivers are. You need to be in the O-line room, understanding who your offensive lineman is. You need to understand who your defense is. Like, you got to go in and start being that leader of the team, because if you want to take hell and have the rings of the team, you got to know everybody. You got to do that. You can't just be focused on you. And that's what I think a lot of teams were kind of scared of, is that Shedeur will be focusing solely on him and not other aspects of the team. But he has to understand that's what it takes to be a quarterback in this league. You've got to show leadership. And if you're not given that quality, do you really, they'll give you a chance. But at the first sign that you mess up, how many times have we seen people be benched? We've seen a couple of people be benched. So it's like you gotta be able to do what you need to do. I mean, hey, and I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, because Carolina Panthers proved it. They benched their first overall draft pick when he wasn't doing well. Not saying that Bryce is not a good QB, but it doesn't matter. You got to be able to understand how to take the rounds and be a quarterback.
And he should be mad at his mentor too, because time passed him plenty of times too.
I don't know how true
that, but that might be true.
I don't know how true that was. So
I mean, they just had a number of picks in them first four rounds. They definitely passed on him a good number of times. So,
but I think that had to do everything with Pete Carroll.
I mean,
I don't think he was Pete Carroll's type quarterback, to be honest.
I mean, you got a point
there.
Because
you know what? He reminds me a little bit. He reminds me, not a little bit, a lot of Geno. He reminds me a lot of Geno.
He does, but I'm just saying. Maybe Pete Carroll said, "I got my QB. I'm cool with Geno. I don't need another Geno."
Because if you look at it, I don't think they drafted another quarterback in that draft. I mean, they drafted one late, but the reports are that kid is going to switch to wide receiver, so he's not even a quarterback.
They drafted two.
Oh, two, okay.
They did. That's why I said a lot of these teams went in, like Pittsburgh. They drafted a QB, and
I think that's the team that
should have got him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Them are New Orleans.
Great fit. It would have been a great fit over
them are New Orleans. I'll be honest with you. So again, for them not to pick him,
I mean, it says a lot.
Let alone, I'm sorry. I'm with JMIK. Jalen Milroe did not play well unless it's against Georgia. Okay, because he looked horrible playing against Vandy, and looked terrible playing against Oklahoma. Shout out to them Sooners. So, hey, I have to shout out to them Sooners. They gave me Billy. I'm straight.
All right, and let's go ahead and finish the second part of this conversation. Obviously, within Shedeur Sanders getting drafted, he also got a false call. There was a lot of prank calls over the draft weekend, and Shedeur would just happen to be the one that actually started it off. Several NFL players who got recently drafted came out and said that the prank calls were true. Some of them did get prank called way before their pick. I just find that absolutely insane that a lot of these dudes who are getting paid, obviously with NIL now, this amount of money, that some shape or form their information is getting leaked like this. I just find this very strange, and it all starts off with and I'm not throwing no shade and stuff, but I just find it absolutely crazy that over his son was able to get that stuff like that, and then to play a joke on Shedeur. That was very inexcusable, and you cost your daddy some money. If he was in a black household, he'd see a switch every day.
Listen, he's 21 years old. Ain't no switches, man. Ain't no switches. It's just getting blue out. It's just getting, you know what I'm saying? And the 100,000. 100,000. Luckily, Jeff had some time in the league, and he's been a coach in the league. He'd been able to get that money. But 100,000 out of even a high middle class household, man, they might have been looking for him in the room.
Look, I'm gonna just say this as a person that has a background in compliance, let alone when it comes down to securing a lot of things and security. I'm not going to blame my organization for this. I'm not going to blame Jeff for this. I'm going to blame the league for this because number one, there should be some type of risk government, some type of risk mitigation when it comes down to these little iPads, tablets, or whatever the situation that it is that this happened. First of all, I don't understand why a coordinator, a DC, has any of this contact information when he is not part of the process. That's number one. Let alone this information should not be leaving the facility. Especially when it has that type of personal information, cell phone numbers, anything like that. That should not be leaving the facility anyway. So and then two, again, if you're like me, like any type of parent, if you're in my household, don't you touch nothing of my stuff. What are you doing over there touching anything of mine? Knowing that what the time of the year is, even plays, it doesn't matter. You should not be touching my stuff. Maybe sometimes his son goes in there and watch his iPad to see some of the plays because he does play football for Ole Miss. So maybe he's just trying to get an understanding of probably what it is or what it looks like to be in the NFL and just so happily came across it. But again, at the end of the day, there are protocols that have to be followed. I still don't understand why a defensive coordinator who is not involved, because if you see a video, he was literally knocking on the draft door room happy when we grabbed one of the players that he wanted. So that shows you he's not even a part of the process. So why does he have that information? And rumor has it is that the league accidentally sent it to a list that wasn't supposed to get sent that list. So again, but I'm still going to look at the league. These people work underneath the NFL logo, even though they work for their organization. There should be some type of protocol in place as far as compliance goes when you are looking at different stuff like that. So I'm just speaking from somebody that does that, because I promise you, heads will be rolling.
That's a great question that my man Just for Sports brought up, saying how did the other folks get the numbers? You know what I'm saying, for the other callers that were pranked, did they all come from this guy or were there other leaks? I kind of think in this information age that, you know what I'm saying, it's easy to dox folks if you work hard enough at it. The information is out there. So I'm hoping that these guys didn't sell off the numbers, but if they did, that'll be even more reason for them the league to set this type of precedent, because it is hard to punish the kid himself because he is not a direct, you know what I'm saying, employee of the NFL. And luckily, you know what I'm saying, has been doing a solid job. You tell me, if he was on the hot seat and this happened, would you want him out of there? Would you want him out of there, E?
I'll be honest with you. After that, I'm gonna look at sabotage, because I'm still looking at it was sabotage when we sit over here and play the Patriots, and all of a sudden our coordinator decided he wanted to leave his backpack with the dang plays and just left it. So yeah,
y'all didn't have no issues in the first half of that football game. I'm gonna be honest with you. Y'all were having no issues in the first half.
I'm gonna say this though. It was
this the same guy. We might look into his betting. We might look into his betting history. He might have a little problem gambling. We might look and see what's going on here.
Look, I'm gonna be honest.
He might have bet on a couple. He might have bet on Shedeur going outside the third round. You know the odds on that.
No, but this is the funny part about it though. It's like, it's one player that us Falcon fans that every time he gets on here and he tries to say something, we all jump on him. So he tried to get on the Commanders head coach, Dan Quinn, and try to get on Kyle and say, how do they still have a job and he don't? And I literally told him, because you sucked at your job. That's what you did. You missed a key important block on Hightower that could have really won us the game. So yes, that's why you ain't got no job.
I mean, you could tell them on this side, and and we really and appreciate that, and I mean that's what I'm gonna say on that one. I'll just chime in, like the prank calls thing, so I work in corporate America, I mean the prank call thing is bad from the athlete perspective, because it's you work your whole life for this moment, and you think you get in the moment and it's a prank call, it's really messed up from that aspect. But from really from a corporation aspect of it, it's more of you're. If you are being, if they're giving you information, sensitive information, whether it's a phone number or a social security number, or I mean, whatever, piece of information that's really important to that individual, you gotta be able to secure that information. And it's just like, if you worked in a regular world and you did, what You know, I mean, your son did that and started prank calling people, and they figured out that you just left your work laptop open or your iPad, you know, work iPad open. Most regular people getting fired for that. You're not going to be in that company too much longer because it comes down to the fact that they can't trust you to secure sensitive information. So that's my vantage point. Like, I'm looking at, you know, like you got to be able to secure that information better than that. I mean, it's a rough lesson to learn that the org got to get fined $250K, and like, you know, like the coach that's not even making $2 million is getting fined $100K. But I bet you he won't let it happen again. And I mean, like, if I had a son and that was my son, he would have to come see me. Like, there's no way that I don't care how much money I got. You're not finna cost me $100K. I don't care if I got $1 million, I got $100 million. You is not going to cost me.
And everybody know about it too. It ain't no secret. It ain't no secret, $100K that you just bet.
But baby, he would have when I tell you, yeah, if you've been with a military family or anything, if you know about the wall squats with your hands out, that man still be sitting here to this day. Yeah. You better not fall. Don't you fall. Don't every time you fall, well, pow, get back up there. You gonna sit over there and you gonna do them wall squats until your body just gets stuck in that position. Yeah, but when I mean stuck.
Insane, man.
Hey, like I said, he in the right household. He couldn't be over here. I'll tell you that right now. Couldn't be over here. Ask me if I got a son. What son?
Could. Oh my God. All right. So we're going to go ahead on to the next topic. All the rookie quarterbacks have now been settled in their new homes, but out of these teams that have these rookie quarterbacks, which one of these rookie quarterbacks are in the best situation? And it doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, obviously this year for a rookie year, but just overall situation, culture, personnel. What do they have around the quarterback? What are the things that they're going to do in time for that quarterback? Which rookie quarterback is in the best situation right now?
I'm giving it to Cam Ward. I'm gonna give it to Cam Ward. I feel like the Titans are they kind of proved that in the draft, that they're giving him the weapons that he needs, building up, getting that offensive line and everything. And I hate to say it, Will Levis, that you lost the team because they're going. I don't feel like it's really going to be a quarterback battle between him and Will Levis. I think they want him to go out there and start unless he's just not picking up the plays or playbook. But again, I'm definitely going to give it to Cam Ward. I feel like Tennessee found what they were looking for, and then they're trying to put him in the situation, and he's wearing number 1. They let him unretire number 1 and literally got permission to have it. So I think they think that they back.
Okay. See, Henry.
Since you took Cam Ward, I'm gonna go with Jackson Dart. I think that he gets a chance to go somewhere and sit down for a minute, gets to sit behind the consummate pro and Russell Wilson, learn the ropes a little bit while the almost called him Green Bay, while the Giants are steadily improving the weapons around him. They added a little bit of help to the line. They already have neighbors. They added the running back? Who they? Scatterbo. Scatterbo. Go with Tracy. So they're building some things up around there, and again, he gets a chance to sit. The defense is solid, so I like where he's. I like that situation for him with the Giants.
JMIK.
Yeah, I'm gonna go a little bit of a more surprising route. Now, like I think that Tyler Show got drafted into a good situation. Like, I don't like him as a quarterback. Let me just be upfront about that. Like I don't I don't love the hype around him. But when I look at the team that he went to the Saints, I mean, like Derek Carr, they don't know if he's gonna play, so he's probably gonna get on the field immediately. He's an older quarterback coming to I think he's like 25. He'll be 20. I think he turns 26 during the season. And I mean, when I look at the Saints offense and just their offense, I mean, like they already have Kamara there. He's already there. They drafted Devin Neal. So I think Devin Neal with Kamara, that's gonna be like thunder and lightning to me. I mean, Neal was one of my favorite running backs in the draft too. And you got that running back duo. You got Chris Olave. You have Rashid Shaheed. They assigned Brandon Cooks. They re-signed a tight end. They also drafted a Kelvin Banks, who got a Texas. So they're pairing him with the other tackle that they drafted last year, Buaga. So you essentially got bookend tackles. My only concern about their offense is like the center guard combinations. That would be my only concern. But I think he should be able, like he's got the surroundings around him to succeed. And then you also know like the coach in there who was the OC from the Philadelphia Eagles as well. And I mean, he's been a coach in this league for a long time. This is his first head coaching job, but I mean, like their coach primarily coaches offense. So he should be able to help the rookie out. And I just feel like it's a situation that he should be able to succeed in as long as he doesn't get hurt.
So what about the likes of Spencer Rattler? They have a Spencer Rattler that's sitting there. Like what are we kind of thinking about that with Spencer Rattler? Like how are we kind of looking at that? Because again, I would think that Spencer would think that would be his team sitting there since he didn't already had a year within the organization. And I mean, no, did he look good in that year? No, I mean, you're sitting behind Derek Carr, so you're not really learning nothing, but still, where do we kind of put him?
But the one thing I say about the Saints, like, I mean, obviously, like, you're in the division, so you know what I'm about to say. Like, the Saints have really drafted quarterback the last 3 years in a row. Like, from Mick to Spencer Rattler now to Tyler Show. But like he's the highest, like he was a second round pick. I think Spencer was a fifth, and I can't remember. I think Jake Hanna was a later round pick as well.
Yeah.
So like they are dedicating a second round pick to the kid. And I'm starting to believe that they don't believe Spencer Rattler can be a starter for them. I think they believe he could be more of a backup for right now. But I guess when we get to training camp, we'll see. I mean, but if I'm Spencer, like I wouldn't feel too great that the fact that the team I play for drafted a quarterback in the second round. So
no, I agree with you. I think that they're probably going to look at Tyler as the guy, but my eye test, says that I don't know how much better he is of a quarterback than Spencer is. I don't know how much of that year of experience that Spencer has that Tyler can really close that gap. He does have some experience working with some of those guys on that team already, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if Spencer won that job initially. So we'll see how it works out in where's that, New Orleans?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you had nothing derogatory to say about them, E. I didn't know who he was talking about. You were so nice about it.
Oh, because they're irrelevant to me right now.
Okay, irrelevant. Okay.
Yeah, so when it comes to this quarterback best situation, I'm slightly torn because while it's going to be sounding crazy a little bit, while Kim Ward he has more stability coaching wise because this is Callahan's second year with this team and they already tooled up the offensive line. They have Calvin Ridley. They have a couple weapons and stuff. They had to retool defense a little bit. I might lean a little bit to the Giants with the asterisk of Russell Wilson and Jameis with that defense. They just have to win enough games to keep their job. And if for those people who are still in Brian Daboll's corner, if this is going to work, because this is deemed Daboll's guy with Jackson Dart. This is a guy he felt like was a perfect fit for his offense, what he wants to do. There are some similar things that he did, obviously, with Josh Allen when he was with Buffalo, who had the crazy seasons. And then he even made Daniel Jones, he got him the $160 million because he used the best things that made Daniel Jones probably good was just using his legs. So I think we'll see eventually how it would work if they're there. I'm more confident to say is I don't see the Giants being extremely bad like we've seen last year because I see Russell Wilson as a quarterback that can win you some games. That he's far better than what they had in years past. But I'm not sure he's going to be a guy that will put you over the hump like Philadelphia or other teams in the NFC.
I mean, my only question with the Giants is like, how secure is the GM and the coach's job? Because because when last season ended, they weren't even sure they were going to be coming back. So it's like, how long are you gonna? I get that you drafted the quarterback that you wanted. To me, it's an indication that they're gonna be there at least another 2 years. But I don't know, like if they have another bad season, like another 3-4 win season, like they're gonna be asking themselves, like, do they want that GM back again?
Yeah, if it's another 3 to 4 win season, they're out of there. But if they win around 8 to 9 games, and keep their job, then the next year Jackson Dart gets a full year under his belt, learning the system and learning the nuances of being an NFL quarterback. Then we'll see, because that defense, the way they building this defense up right now with Adul Carter, they should be like last year, one of the best pass rushing defenses in the NFL.
I agree with you, man. I think if they win 3 to 5 games, they're probably out of there. I think that they're probably trying to buy themselves some times with the pick of Dart, but you got to show some progress. You put together a decent class last year, put together another decent class this year, in my opinion. Bring in a veteran like Russell Wilson. You should be trying to, the expectation to me is probably at least 7 to 8 wins. You get in that area 7 to 9. Save your job again. Add to the weaponry at on the outside. Hopefully, set the table for Dart to come in and kind of take the reins and move forward. But yeah, they got to show some progress this year, though.
Yeah.
Let me see. Did they? Yeah, they did get Scatterboo. Okay, I thought they got another running back beforehand, but
they had another solid draft in back-to-back years.
Yeah. I mean, again, I do see it. I mean, that was actually going to be my first pick, was Jackson Dart, was going to go with him, but I just felt like, again, like you said, stability with Cam Ward. I feel like just all around that he will have a successful season. I'm not saying Jackson Dart will not, but the Giants is a good spot for them too. Got a nice solid defense over there. Got a nice solid O-line. Got, like you said, the weapons. They added that running back. I feel like they can probably pick up a couple of pieces, but we'll see, because again, people get cut left and right after training camp, so they might be able to pick up some solid pieces too. But I did like that pick with Scatterboo. I was happy that Scatterboo made a team. So shout out to Scatterboo.
Scatterboo and Tracy, that's a dangerous combo.
Combination, yeah. So we'll see. I'm not. That's for you as a Commanders fan. That's for you as a Commanders fan to watch out for them. I
welcome it, man. I want the East to be a dominant division. All 4 teams had great drafts, man. We gotta be up to the challenge. You're gonna win. You gotta win and win against the best. And I'm not saying the Giants are the best right now, but when you have a team that has drafted good and they have it, like you got Adul Carter. That dude he's going to help elevate the guys around them with a Dexter Lawrence, and they also got Darius Alexander.
The only thing I had an issue with Adul Carter is just he stays on the ground a little bit too much for me on the run plays, but overall solid pick.
I got you.
Yeah, you're gonna have to work on that, like like that run defense, because it was looking kind of light last year. So.
Yeah, because you're in a division where you got Saquon Barkley, where you literally have running backs over here. I mean, shoot, sometimes I'll be thinking CeeDee Lamb is a freaking running back the way he be running sometimes, So I'm just like, yeah, this is not that type of division, but NFC East is going to be very interesting again, because if the Giants can really step up their game, it's going to be very competitive. So I can't wait to see the NFC East. I really can't.
Yeah, without a doubt, most definitely. All right, let's go to the next topic. What was your most surprising picks y'all seen the past draft weekend?
Can I be real?
Yeah.
Jalen Milroe. I really had him going on like later, like 6th, almost 7th round, probably undrafted, because I don't see it. So for Seattle to say, hey, we'll pick you right here in the 3rd, yeah. But then my other shock I'm not gonna lie, which was a surprising pick. I was so kind of disappointing in to see Smile Munden kind of fall the way that he fell. Even though he fell to the Eagles, but it was just kind of a shocker to see him fall as far as he did. Some of my other Georgia players I wasn't shocked about, but Smile is really the one that I was kind of like, whoa. what's really going on with this situation? But shout out to C. Henry. He got my Dirty Dan, got Dan Jackson. So shout out to that. I love that. Yeah,
like a player too.
Yeah, no, he's a very solid player. I mean, I do see y'all using him majority on special teams, but he can come in and fill some things. So hopefully he gets a rotational piece. But I do see him probably starting off more than likely on special teams. Very good special teams player.
For me, maybe the coasting to Chicago pick, maybe because it hits home in the division. I've been kind of hearing that they were going to look at tight end a little bit. I thought they may go possibly with the running back to kind of add to that running back room, but that's a good pick, I think. Kind of rich for my blood for a tight end, but it was interesting. Maybe he plays the Laporta role over there for Chicago. So we'll see how that goes. All the quarterback picks above Shedeur. I was surprised at everyone. Every time they named the quarterback and his name wasn't Shedeur, I was surprised. Milroe, I will say, to your point, not so surprised about them. I heard a little bit of buzz, later in the process about him. You look at Mike McDonald. He coached a long time over in Baltimore with Lamar Jackson, so he kind of saw what that kind of looks like up close and personal. Defensive coordinator kind of knows what that rushing ability does. Creates a problem. It's problem for defenses and things of that nature. So wasn't so surprised by that. Maybe he can cultivate that ability. And then we saw somebody like Anthony Richardson last year. When he go, 2 years ago, what did he go 12th? To me, he was 4.
Yeah.
Ooh. To me, he was a little less polished than Milroe. You have questions about Milroe. I do too. My Michigan boys was kind of stifled him a little bit, but I think he still was a little bit more polished than Richardson. And again, I think sometimes evaluators, experts, GMs, fans, we all human. Sometimes we make mistakes. So some more than others. So maybe this will work out.
Speaking of the mistakes, I'm just gonna throw this one out here, just the general for everybody. I was definitely taken aback by how far Quentin Ewers fell. That man could have played at another school for $8 million. He should have followed what Carson Beck did and just got your $8 million, because now you only gonna be making $800K. So just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, the only thing I say about the Ewers situation is he going to the Dolphins, and where you're going to be sitting behind a quarterback that's often injured. So he might see the field a lot quicker than we might think, even being a 7th round draft.
I think it was a good fit too.
Yeah. I mean, like the most surprising players for me was, number one was Pat Bryant. I think the Broncos took him early 3rd. I didn't have him going that early. I didn't have him going to like day 3. I was pretty surprised by that pick. And then kind of in the same position group, Jalen Royals. I don't know how he fell to the Chiefs in the 4th round. Like he should have went in the 3rd somewhere. I didn't have him dropping that far down. So I was surprised that he was still there. I mean, for the Chiefs, and if you're a Chief fan, I mean that's great value. Because like my team decided to pick Kyle Williams over him. And I mean he's a kid that I liked as well. So
yeah. For me, I'm going to say Will Johnson falling all the way to the Arizona Cardinals. Even though there were reports about the injuries and stuff like that, I still felt like he was one of the best corners in the draft. And for him to get passed by a couple of teams that probably needed corner, it was a little bit surprising. But the Cardinals, and we'll get to the best drafts and worst drafts soon, but to get Will Johnson and Walter Nolan with your first 2 picks and reshape that entire defense, and
then they get Jordan Burch as well.
Get Jordan Burch as well. That defense is one as it's looking good. And I think Will Johnson has early in my opinion, early defensive rookie of the year potential going to Arizona.
Not over my Jalen Walker. He doesn't.
Walker or Pierce?
First of all, let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that.
I still like the Pierce pick. I still like the Pierce pick.
No, the Pierce pick is working on me. I want my first round draft pick.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe you got a Detroit girl. I believe the young hooper Rakia.
Yeah.
That was that. I believe. Yeah. He ain't good. Yeah.
He's
Y'all
definitely
in
in
good
good hands.
shape.
I can say that. He's definitely in good hands.
Chad, that's all I'm gonna say.
All right, let's go ahead and get to the best drafts and the worst draft. Now we talked a little bit before we got on air. Well, we were kind of questioning who actually had a bad draft. Per se, when you look around the league, all of them look solid, but maybe it's somebody. There's a position that they didn't really attack. They won't really aggressive and stuff. So we can definitely nitpick on that. So let's start with you, C. Henry. Who you think had the best draft and who you think had the worst draft?
Man, you know what? It was tough trying to figure this stuff out because I was looking at all the teams and everybody seemed to improve themselves so much. Man, you know what? I'm gonna go off the grid a little bit. We talked about the Giants already. I think they were up there, but I'm gonna go with my Jim Harbaugh, man. I'm gonna go with the Chargers, man. Off the grid. Mario Hampton, the matchup to pair with Najee Harris. Trey Harris at the wide receiver spot. We know they needed a big-time wide receiver on the outside. Kyle Kennard in the 4th round from South Carolina on that edge. Arondé Godson, the 2nd in round 6. They did some work, man. I like what they did. They may not have been my the best draft, but they're my favorite draft. And just like my boy Brad said, we might not got the best wide receiver, but we got his favorite wide receiver.
Your worst draft?
So, first of all, let me preface this because I don't want nobody to be coming after me, you know what I'm saying, on Twitter when I say the words. I don't think anyone's draft stunk. I just had questions. So this is not my worst draft. These are just the drafts that I had questions about, okay? First question for Green Bay, right in the division. They went wide receiver. I like Matthew Golden, and then they went Savion Williams. But they didn't really grab a cornerback. I think they lost. I think they lost Stokes, but I don't know what's the situation with Jair. They didn't really grab a cornerback, I think, until late. So I thought that was a little bit of a need or a miss for them. And also, I just got a question for Jacksonville. After Travis Hunter, I like Kaiser, but after Travis Hunter, what was we doing? That's all I was. What was we doing? What was we doing? I know you traded some picks away, but what was we doing though? That's it.
Lady E?
I mean, one of my ones is New Orleans. I'm definitely going to put New Orleans out there. Do not know what New Orleans was doing, especially when they know that their quarterback situation.
She got to start out with the word.
I got to start off with them because you went. They needed a lineman. I'm gonna give them that. They needed a lineman. They did have one of their linemen retire. So they needed a lineman, but the lineman that you got, that all I'm gonna say is Jalen Walker. All right. So that was already that, but then again, it was just the quarterback pick for me. I'm not saying that Tyler was bad, but it was just like for a team like New Orleans, that clearly needs somebody. Again, they didn't do a succession plan after that. After Drew Brees left, and they just kind of been, in the same sense with us, trying to figure everything out with us. But yeah, everything else kind of I will give them a compliment. I like the Danny Stedman pick from OU because he was one of the main reasons why OU dominated so much against Alabama when they played. So I like the Danny pick. That was the only pick that I like from New Orleans, and that kind of hurts me to say that a little bit. But only pick that I like. But I did have a little question marks from New Orleans with that. And then I'm going to throw Tampa. Mine came from my division. I'm sorry. Mine really came from my division because you just drafted a wide receiver last year. You drafted another one this year. You still got Godwin. What I know Mike Evans probably don't have that much longer, but what are you doing? You know, they did make some good picks around on their defense, but I'm still trying to figure out what y'all doing. Y'all what's going on with that wide receiver room over there? What y'all planning on? Like, is Godwin not that good? Like, the old dude not do well last season? Like, what we doing? That's all. That's all I just want to know. You know, Panthers is the Panthers. They think they finna do something anyway. I'm just like, baby, that wide receiver ain't finna scare me. Then y'all women got Trevor Etienne. I just want y'all to know, again, Jalen Walker. They meet again. That's all I want to say. That's all I'm gonna say. So I'm good. But yeah, mine came from my division. Those are the ones I kind of had some question marks on. Like, huh? What we doing? So yeah.
Can you give me your best draft? Gracious.
Oh, my best draft me.
Man, this going local, boy. She ain't
Southern hospitality.
Going too far.
Southern hospitality. Yeah.
Me, like I like the aggressiveness of my team because we were getting on Terry's behind about being aggressive and not being aggressive in the offseason and always missing. But I like the fact that Jalen Walker did fall to us and they did not go the opposite because James Pierce was actually really on our board. So if they were expecting Jalen Walker to actually go, they didn't think Mykel Williams was actually going to go before him, and they thought that he was going to be picked up afterwards. So they were already ready to pick up James Pierce regardless. So when Jalen fell, they took Jalen. And again, everybody know the Falcons did not have a pass rush, even though we went over there and got I'm about to call that man Jonnu. He came from the Patriots, but yeah, we'll get to that later. That shows you right there how much you care when you done. Look, you done. That's what it is. You done. But but yes, we didn't get the pass rush, but I did feel like it was a little bit kind of steep, and I know half my fan base is probably gonna say F them picks. I get that. We probably be picking in the later 20s anyway, but sometimes I'm just like, I don't. They're too rich for my blood.
Terry said, if we don't win this year, I ain't got to worry about them damn picks next year. I ain't got to worry about that first round pick if I don't win this year. We better win this. I worry about that next year, or let somebody else worry about
money. We supposed to have money next year too, so I don't think they really worried about the draft in a whole. But I do feel like that was a little bit too rich, but you know, he played for Tennessee, so we're gonna see what's gonna pop off with that. But I love the fact that we stick with the theme. We went defense, and we did get an offensive player. He is 6'7". He does play right guard. I don't know if that's gonna be Caleb McGarry's replacement. We'll see. We still need a center though. Still need a dang center. But I'm happy.
AJ Pick.
Y'all know I'm crazy.
Your best and worst draft. Yo.
And she kept that joint local. I hate to tell E this, but on my list of the best draftsmen, I had Carolina right there. I really like their draft a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you, they got Ted out of Arizona. I really like Ted a lot. And I think like pre-draft, I think people was trying to kill his stock with the whole the video from his freshman year talking about I don't like to watch tape and all this other stuff. I mean, he's essentially ranked the best wide receiver in the class. Like, now, do I believe he'll be the best wide receiver in his class in 3 years? Not necessarily, but I mean, for like the Panthers, like they needed another wide receiver because I mean, Adam Thielen, I don't know how much longer that boy gonna play. I mean, like the man is old, so I don't know how much longer he's gonna play. I mean, they picked him up. They picked up Nick Scourton, Princely, Trevor Etienne. Cam Jackson told me stop the run. Like they got a lot of guys that I really liked. And the other team I really liked was the Baltimore Ravens. I really hate to give this team any kind of credit at all. But like they hardly made any trades. Like everything fell in their lap. Malachi fell in their lap. Mike Green fell in their lap. Like they had a tremendous draft. The two teams I had to add, like it's kind of what we said, like before the pod started. I couldn't really find a team that really had a terrible draft. But the teams that I was asking myself, like, what are you really doing? Was the Cincinnati Bengals and the Jaguars. I was really like the players that they drafted aren't bad. And that's not what I'm saying. That the Bengals should have drafted more defensive players. I think they out of all their picks, they only drafted 2 or 3 defensive players. that defense was wretched last year. And so I felt like they needed to draft more defensive players. And the Jaguars, if the Travis situation works out, then the draft not as bad. But if Travis is just an average player and you gave up a first next year and your second this year, it just, I mean, you give up a lot just to move up 2 spots. And they had some other needs, like I think they had like a D tackle need. They didn't address that either. So like they didn't fill all their needs, so they're gonna have a couple of holes. So it's like those are like y'all could get more.
I'll say this. The best draft I felt like I saw to me was the Patriots. I love the additions of getting a Will Campbell to help fortify the front, protecting Drake May, giving some protection, especially what you did in free agency. Adding Travion Henderson and Kyle Williams to the backfield and the wide receiver room to give him a target out the backfield, someone that can help pass protect on third down, get some explosiveness to that offense. And we know with the offensive coordinator returning back to New England, he'll definitely have some ways to get the ball in their hands to make plays. But also another key pick that I also love that I saw that New England did. They added some guys on the defense. I think Brandon Switson falling all the way to the 5th round, that is an extremely good value pick to add to that defensive front to get to the quarterback. So I absolutely love what y'all did, JMIK, in the draft. And when it comes to, I won't say they didn't have a bad draft, but I felt like they could have been a little bit better in addressing a key spot. I think I'll go with the Dallas Cowboys because CD still does not have a designated running mate to go along with him. They knocked out the park with the first 3 picks, especially getting Siobhan Ravel in the 3rd round to complete playing some corner, because with the Trayvon Diggs situation with his injury, we don't know if he's going to be playing the start of the season, and maybe this is last year in Dallas. But I felt like they could have been a little bit more better in trying to add a wide receiver to go with CD. The running backs are okay. I like the kid from Texas as a speed, but he's more of a 3rd down guy. Phil Maffa, he's pretty decent too. They probably could have got a better running back, but they got 2 running backs. So we'll see. But I'm still questioning, is Dallas going to find a way to get another guy on the outside? Do they have to go to Amari Cooper in free agency? We'll see. But that's probably...
I don't think Amari want to come back.
And I heard he might want to go to the Raiders. That's what I've been hearing lately.
Well, I don't know who's going to be that second guy. Jonathan Mingo?
Yeah, I'm not too high on him.
Nasty.
I mean, like it's really what they gave up, man. Giving up a 3rd or 4th round pick for him, and he really didn't have any production with Carolina. It's not a good value proposition, in my opinion.
All right,
maybe they're high on Tolbert. Maybe they're still high on Tolbert.
I like Tolbert, but I like him more as a wide receiver 3.
Yeah,
I mean, Tolbert's okay. I mean, maybe I just got to see more. Maybe.
All right, we'll see. And the last topic of the day, I guess this has something to do with the Commanders and talks about getting a brand new stadium. What do you guys prefer, a dome stadium or an open stadium?
I love my dome.
Man, I'm old school, man. I mean, give me the open stadium. I mean, because this is where I'm from, man. Like I'm from the Northeast. Give me the snow, give me the wind, give me all like the extra stuff you got going on with football. And you know what I mean? Like for me, it's just seeing who the best team really is. That's how I feel about it.
Man, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I was an open stadium type of guy, you know what I'm saying? But I done got old, man. And listen, man, I don't want to be doing no snow. I don't want to be out there freezing. I don't want to be getting rained on. I don't want to be doing all that. And also, when you look at these arenas, man, they're in these cities, municipalities. These municipalities need them to be more than just a stadium, man. They need them to be a concert venue. They need to get the conventions to come there. They need I don't want to say NASCAR. What's the monster trucks to come up in there? So if you're looking at it to be a money maker for your municipality, you needed to do everything, man. You needed to be able to bring a Super Bowl there if you were in a cold weather city, like I'm saying, Detroit or Washington. I don't know if they, you guys are not considered a cold weather city, so I guess You guys could possibly. Y'all cold? Y'all get cold over there? Get a little snow?
DMV weather kind of mixed, man. One day it's 80 degrees. Next thing you know, it drop all the way to 32.
Well, just to be sure, man, get that dome, man, so y'all can get a Super Bowl there, man. I know that's what dudes stood out on there for.
Yeah, they I think we're going to get it done. I think it's gonna be glass. I'm excited, man. Bring it back to DC.
Hey, I'm gonna say like I say again, I love my dome.
All right, that's all we got for y'all tonight, man. Shout out to JMIK, his first episode as an official member. Loving this so far. We finally get some AFC perspective. You know, we very NFC heavy up here, so most definitely, man. Anything you guys got left? Social media things going on, spaces, podcasts. What y'all got going on?
I mean, I'm chilling right now, but make sure y'all check when it gets closer to training camps. If you do want to know anything about the Atlanta Falcons, since everybody was so on the prank calls about the Atlanta Falcons, if y'all really want to know what goes down, make sure you hit us up. Especially, I know, like I said, when it gets closer to training camp, check us out on my Tuesday spaces at 7 p.m. Sometimes Eric Robinson may run them, or even Xavier may run them. So just check out and just see. But yes, if you really want to know about the Falcons or even the NFC South, because we do have some people pop in from Tampa, Carolina, the Saints. We get bug wild in there, though. I just say that.
Yeah. I mean, for me, you can catch me every Saturday, 11 a.m. to check down. It's me, Smitty, certified and Pop. I mean, we do that thing every week, you know, off season, during the season, whatever. This week we're doing the draft recap. So I mean, and you can catch us on there. And I mean, that's pretty much all I have, pretty much.
Yeah. You can catch me right here, man. Enter the lab, baby. Enter the lab. And I'm coming back with the Fellas Present Sports Rap, but we got to get it back going. And again, go Pistons, man. This is insane. This is insane.
Yeah. But you guys can catch me on the other podcast, Only the Huddle podcast. We are back. We did an episode last Monday. Also catch me on the Command Time podcast. We'll do at least a Wednesday or Friday if time is presented. And also for my personal podcast, the NLD podcast, just did a Commanders recap of all the picks. Next videos are coming up will be all division recaps of the drafts, how I feel about it, what are some things that could be leaning into the betting odds for the favorites of each division winner probably coming soon. But that's all I have for y'all tonight, man.
Yeah. Okay, y'all, we gotta go because I know the Pistons are playing right now. And
I know. I see Henry.
Yeah, see Henry already checked out on us. So
I'm here, baby. I'm here. I'm here. I'm over here with the screen, but I'm here with y'all. I'm here.
Hey, man, this is Enter the Lab podcast. We are back, man, and much more to come for this crazy off season. And most exciting, we're always going to be excited for the new season as we're getting ready to approach that. So y'all stay safe and y'all have a good night. We'll catch y'all next weekend.
Thank you.